Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Glass City Podcast here at the CMB Production Studios. Hope you all are having a great day, because I know I am. We have got a couple of phenomenal artists in our studio today to bring you some great music. And you know what? We're going to go ahead, and we've got, I believe the name of the group is Dragonfly, and this is their first album, Jumping Off, and they're going to go ahead and give you a little taste of the first track. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Adam SoRelle and Mark Ulinski. Hopefully I enunciated that close to...
English pronunciation Johnson.
English pronunciation Johnson. And that, ladies and gentlemen, the two of them together are Dragonfly, and that is their debut album, Jumping Off, and that was the first track on that album. As you can see right now on the screen, we have got their artwork, and it is really cool. What were you guys jumping off in that? I really would like to know.
We do all our own stunts.
You do?
It's an old Civil War era box train.
Oh, really?
Yeah. My buddy Jared Matthews out in Wasion, JM Photography, he's the one that took those photos.
Okay.
Really made it all happen for us on the album.
Well, it's cool. It really is cool. I really enjoy it. When I first pulled it up, when you sent me the link for it, and it's like, wow, this is wild. You know, it looks like an action movie going on. You know, so, and I really enjoyed it. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go ahead by the end of the show. We'll get that link. We'll get a link. You guys can give me a link. We can put it in. So they go back and review the video and everything like that, they can click on it and be able to purchase the full album or individual songs, correct?
Great. Yeah.
So we'll make sure we get those links together and any other links that you would like for them to get a hold of you guys. we'll make sure all of that is actually on there. So, well, we're going to go ahead and we're going to backtrack a little bit here, maybe go back in time, and we're going to talk to Adam first. And Adam, what got you started on this whole journey of music? Let's Mark's over here looking like, uh-oh.
You don't want to get me talking. I ramble a bit, but
That's okay.
I'll
That's
try to
why
keep
we're
it
here.
short. So my dad's a musician. He plays guitar, and he was always playing songs when I was growing up, CCR and Simon and Garfunkel, and his own stuff as well. And I got the bug then, listening to him playing around the campfire and stuff, and just at home. And eventually, I took an interest, and he taught me everything he knows about it. So that's how I got started in music originally, and then took off from there.
Okay, so what's kept you into it then? What was the deciding factor that once you learned, because I know there are a few artists out there that have played, they quit, and then maybe found a buddy or something or a friend that they rekindled. What's kept you going all this time? What's been your personal inspiration?
Music is just emotionally charged.
Okay.
It's one of those things where if you're really a musician, you understand.
Yep.
You close your eyes and play, and you just the world just vanishes, and all you're left with is this song that you're into.
Okay.
It's amazing.
Now, when it comes to writing, because I believe there's only one song on your album that would be considered a cover, and it's not owned by anybody. The song was written, as far as I know, way back in the 15 or 1600s. Actually, it is that old. It's an old song, and nobody knows its origin, but it's been around forever. And so, where does your writing come from? What inspires you? Mark, did you want
to explain? We took a temporary possession, some propriety on that, because Adam did write another verse, right?
Oh, and I rearranged a lot of it. Yeah. That's true.
It is sort of original.
It's kind of rewritten.
It's kind of rewritten.
Yeah, the arrangement's a little different. The story actually is changed a little bit. So.
Well, I'll have to re-listen to it, because I'll be honest. That's Whiskey in the Jar.
Song they're talking about.
And I'll be honest, I skipped over that one because it was a title that I was familiar with, and I concentrated on some of the other ones.
Man, it's a great tune.
And but again, we were talking before the show here. Right now, my personal favorites are "Stumble" and "It's for Real," and
we're
then
just about to play that one.
And "You Can't Have My Guitar." I like the feel of "You Can't Have My Guitar."
It's a good one.
The title jumped out at me. Yeah. I don't know if that was something that you guys did on purpose, but and I played that one. I think I've played the most out of all of them since I've downloaded this album. So again, people, there's a critic's opinion. Get the album. As soon as you can get the link, get this album. We were talking, to me, it sounded a little bit like folk, but I was speaking with Adam, and it's Americana.
Right.
And it's its own little genre that people can get into. And when I was setting the studio up for you guys, Adam knows it was playing when he come in.
Yeah.
And I think I've played it 5 times through. Cool. Other than the one track.
Awesome.
So, you guys said you had another one you wanted to go ahead and throw out there for them?
Oh, yeah. You ready, buddy?
Yeah. Unless you want to do Whiskey in a Jar.
We don't have anybody to clap for us, man. See, that's one of those things where
right.
we need an audience.
Good one.
Yes.
A crowd full of people to clap along.
Yes.
This is a fun tune, too, though. Toes in the grass with you by my side. Listen to the birds as they pass us by, singing songs of love. And oh, our time, our place, our lives. Love you, leave. Oh, it's for real. Oh, it's so real. Oh, it's so real. Oh, it's so real. Mark, I think that was the best you've ever played that harmonica solo.
Oh, there's a harmonica solo.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, that
Perfect.
was It's For Real
Flawless.
off of their album Jumping Off. And again, that was one of my favorites. I really, really enjoy the everything about it. Everything about it. So where did that song come from? As far as, was that a complete collaboration, or was it...
Well, I wrote that. It's funny because I was sitting at home bored.
Boy.
Yeah, it's usually where creation comes from, isn't it?
Yes.
And
Yes.
I was watching a PBS Fun Driver, you know.
Uh-huh.
They had the Who on, and the Who were playing some crazy. I don't remember what song it was, but it was a great song. And they're just jamming away on it, but it's a love song. And I'm going like, oh, that's kind of cool. It's, you know, they're rocking it out, but it's a love song. I like it. You know.
I thought it was because of the Twin Peaks restaurant.
Well, there's that too.
There's that.
There's that too.
I just assumed.
Well, again, in every song on there, kind of, I could, how do I want to say? I could feel, you know, being an artist and stuff like that, and I'm hearing what's going on, and I just absolutely love that style of music. You know, the Americana, the folk. I grew up with a lot of that, a lot of old country. So, and I can hear all these different elements actually that are going on, whether you guys may consciously pick them out. There's elements from there's a little bit of blues in the one song, a little bit slower. I believe it was Light or Sunshine. I'm trying to get them, but there's these feels in there that are just phenomenal. And when somebody gets to listen to them, and you guys got to buy them, little hint there, everybody. You know, I'm not a promoter, but here you go. Get this album, Jumping Off by Dragonfly. Like I said, we'll post the links for it. We have a few people actually in the live chat. We have Cindy, who gave you guys a big heart. Cindy Allure. Hopefully I said that right. If not, you can yell at me later. Bronson Williams says, hi, guys.
Hey, Bronson.
And
Right
my buddy Kurt, he said, good stuff there.
All right.
So we're already getting good responses, and that's what this is about. This is kind of like a promo for you guys. Maybe, hopefully, you'll use it later in the future and say, "Hey, we were here."
And we're just having fun, man.
Oh, me too. Me too. Okay, Mark.
Yes.
You seem to have had a few years under your belt here with music.
That's a nice way to put it.
I can get away with it, I think, because I believe you and I are pretty close in age. You know, close enough that we can pick on each other and talk about the Grays and everything else. But where does your history with music come in? How does all of this fit in how you got started?
I come from, well, Adam and I both come from rock and roll, you know, beginnings.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always been, you know, but then when I was growing up, it was more pop music oriented.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I remember, you know, CKLW, WSPD,
WSPD,
WHO,
yep.
you know, I was right over here at the raft race a couple of years, you know, when they had the WHO raft race. But they had all kinds of popular music then.
Mm-hmm.
There was rock and roll. And in fact, we saw a Black Sabbath cover band, you know, sponsored by the radio station right down here on the Ottawa River. You know, and it was soul, and there was all kinds of music, but a lot of it was just popular music, and it covered country, and it covered other things like that. But you know, 60s, 70s rock has always been my mainstay, what
Okay.
I prefer most. But my first experience in music was in marching band. The Dorian Drum and Bugle Corps, and I played
Okay.
the bells there, the Glock. And then after that, I saved up enough money from my paper route to buy a $20 guitar. And it wasn't until that next Christmas that I was able to actually get the amp. It's really all the more special.
Right.
But music like that and rock and roll was where it all started. But what is it now? It's
all over the place.
And this thing that we're doing now with the acoustic, with the Americana label, and I don't really know how that Americana fits in, but they're just folk music kind of.
See, I wasn't wrong, Adam. Even the other Mark agrees.
It's in there. Yeah.
It's in there. Well, would you consider your music as a whole, with the two of you, like campfire music, something that anybody could pick up an acoustic guitar, sit and sing, and have fun with? I mean, would you put yourself in that other category? Because there is actually a full category of campfire music.
Oh, sure.
There really is. Believe it or not, look it up. It's wild. And do you find yourselves writing purposely that way, or you're just writing because this is what's coming out? This is what you're feeling at the time?
Personally, I've written hundreds of songs in various different genres, purposefully different genres. And when we went to put the album together, I went back and I looked at some of the old stuff that I had written, brought it in, and we went over it together, and we made a lot of changes together. Added a lot of stuff, took some stuff out. It was a big process. But then we wrote songs specifically for the album as well.
Okay.
So some of them are old, some of them are new. But I don't write any specific genre of music. I like everything. Just depends on the mood that hits me. Like, some days you'll be out there listening to hip hop, and some days you'll be listening to rock, and some days you'll be listening to country. It's kind of like that. You get the feel, and you're like, I think I'll write a country song today, or something.
Well,
like that.
I'll be waiting for the country song. Obviously, you guys know I'm a little bit more into the country side of music. Grew up with it like that, but so I'll be waiting for that track. Definitely waiting for that track. Real quick, we've got Phil Reary. I don't know if Adam remembers. Phil is actually a listener from New Zealand.
Oh, right.
He says, hi, guys, and gives everyone his blessing for today.
Nice.
And he is hanging out with us, listening to your music. So, what is that, about a quarter way around the world?
Half? Quite a ways away.
Yeah, and we've got a great fan with Phil, and he listens into all our live podcasts
Good
like
to have
this.
you, Phil.
And
Be sure to like and share.
Oh, he does. And the man is phenomenal. He really is. One of these days, maybe, I'll get to meet him in person. I'll have to take, when all of this is done and over with, I have to grab the wife and take a trip to New Zealand and see what happens. Maybe, hopefully meet with this young man.
Maybe they'll have the bridge built by then.
You think?
He's driving there.
So, anyhow, now, people may be wondering, I know I am, how did you guys connect to start writing and start making albums? Where's the backstory on this? I'm kind of curious myself.
I think I answered that.
You're the talker, man.
Craigslist ad
Oh,
in 13. Yeah, in 13 for Adam's band that he was in. And the band is still around in a different form.
Mm-hmm.
But they were advertising for a keyboard player. And sure enough, I answered the ad, and I just happened to also know the drummer. And, things meshed pretty well, and we were a successful band. And for the next couple of years, things changed, right? The venues change. You realize that some gigs you can have at restaurants, and sometimes you can play from 6 to 9, and sometimes you don't have to get done at 2 o'clock in the morning and have to move the equipment and all that other stuff.
right. Right.
And if you can nail down those gigs with half the equipment and maybe make just as much of an impression and make just as much of an entertainment, that's nothing but beneficial. I think that's what it ended up driving us together, the need to make money.
Well, it is unfortunately a necessary evil. Real quick, Bronson Williams says, play the unicorn song. Okay, is this like an inside
No,
joke?
that's the actual
the
unicorn
actual
song.
unicorn song.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're not doing any covers today, guys, just because of logistics with YouTube and all that.
Well, actually, YouTube can, well, I won't say it out loud because they may clamor me up for that, but you know how I feel about it. Here's the deal. I'm going to be straightforward with all the artists we've had in here doing covers and stuff like that. I do get a nice email from YouTube saying that these rights belong to certain entities. However, as long as I don't make money on what I'm doing, which I don't, I do this because I love this side of the production of things, and I enjoy
We're
playing.
not making money?
You're not making money today. Yeah.
That's it. We're out of here.
You can play whatever you want. All I'll get is a nice email. So if there is a song that you guys want to play, that's a cover. You don't have to worry about the logistics. I've got it covered through the way my channel is set up. So it's up to
If it
you.
was anybody else, I'd say no way. Bronson. Come on.
You really want to play that?
For Bronson.
All right, for Bronson.
So we're going to go ahead and do that then. All right, gentlemen, whenever you're ready.
Go for it.
A long time ago when the earth was green, there's more kinds of animals than you'd ever see. They run around free while the others feed more. The loveliest of them all was the unicorn. There's green alligators and long-necked geese, some humpty-back camels and some chimpanzees, some cats and rats and elephants, it shows you're born. The loveliest of them all was the unicorn. But God seen some sin and then it gave him pain. And he says back down, I'm gonna make it rain. He says, hey, brother Noah, tell you what to do. Build me a floating zoo and take some of them green alligators and long-necked geese, some humpty-back camels and some chimpanzees, some cats and rats and elephants, sure as you're born. Don't you forget my unicorn. But Noah was there to heed the call and finished up the ark just as the rain started falling. Marched in the animals 2 by 2 and called out as they went through. Hey Lord, I got your green alligators and long-necked geese, some humpty-back camels and some chimpanzees, some cats and rats and elephants. Lord, I'm so forlorn, I just don't see no unicorn. Noah looked out through the driving rain. The unicorns were hiding, playing silly games, kicking and splashing while the rain was pouring. Oh, you silly unicorn. There was green alligators and long-necked geese, some humpty-back camels and some chimpanzees. Noah said, close the door, 'cause the rain is pouring. We just can't wait for old unicorn. The ark started moving, drifting with the tide. The unicorns looked down from the rocks and they cried, and the rains came down, sort of floating away. And that is why you never see a unicorn to this very day.
That's right.
Anything you want to add to that?
No.
But you'll see green alligators and long-necked geese, some humpty-back camels and some chimpanzees, some cats and rats and elephants, as sure as you're born. You're never gonna see no unicorn.
And there you go, Bronson. The unicorn song. That, guys, was phenomenal. Especially at the end. I'm not going to lie. The best part was the end and the interaction. That's what makes a show.
Hey, Mark, who wrote that
Oh,
song?
humor's very close to sorrow.
It's very close.
I just
You
know
know,
that
it really sounds like you're crying a lot of times when
I
you're
got the
laughing.
45 from the Irish Rovers.
The Irish Rovers.
It was written by Shel Silverstein.
Yes. Another campfire song.
Yeah.
If you think about
Absolutely.
another campfire song, and you guys played it flawless. Even though I will say it's the first time I've ever heard it played with a ukulele. It's always been acoustic guitar or 12-string guitar. I've heard a couple gentlemen play it that way, but Bronson says thank you guys.
You're welcome, buddy.
And Phil gave hands up and claps and everything else. He enjoyed it. He thoroughly enjoyed it. You can tell. You can tell by the emojis if you guys go back and look through the chat.
Yeah.
You can see that he's definitely enjoying this, and that's what it's about. It's getting, especially now, with what we've got going on, people can't come out to see you live.
Right.
So we're only breaking a part of the law. You guys quite aren't 6 foot apart, but my camera don't get that span yet. Well, we'll have to put one behind me for future shows.
Put us in separate rooms.
I've actually been working on that, believe it or not. The logistics are more expensive than my pocketbook allows right now. Because
And we're sharing a mic.
But
Oh, man.
that's actually a good distance. If you take the height and then and you figure out the angle, geometry.
Just don't lick it.
Everything was clean before you guys got here. I made sure of it. In fact, Phil just put in the chat, if you're all on Facebook, please help to share this out to promote Glass City Podcasts and these artists.
All right, good job,
you guys.
man.
So again, he's a phenomenal young man, and we're going to keep this going. So, where did the change, especially for you, Mark, knowing where you started, where did the change into more of the acoustic folk Americana campfire music feel start to really develop for you? When did you feel, and when did you find that that's something you really wanted to kind of delve into a little bit more?
I've always been around campfires.
Okay.
Some of the people listening, like Russell Brown, can attest. But, many years and many campfires, we have taken an annual canoe trip for many years with the same people. Almost 20, no, my gosh, it's almost 30 years.
Okay.
But I have loved to just sit around hours on end around a campfire, with or without accompaniment. The campfire aspect, these are songs with strong melodies that don't have to have massive bands or accompaniments because they're simple, and the beauty is the simplicity. And you could play these same songs 100 years ago. You could sing them around the range in the cowboy days, and they would still be just as relevant, just as strong. It hasn't really changed. These are songs that have been consistent, and feels that have been consistent.
So for you, it's been a
my
part of your
answer
life.
is
Yes.
Yeah.
Russell Brown responded, "Great memories."
The best are yet to
The
come.
best are yet to come. Well, how about you, Adam? What started gearing you towards more this feel and this type of?
Yeah, well, like I said, my dad's a folk musician.
Okay, so
I grew up around that. Yeah.
From the very beginning.
Oh
then,
yeah,
that was...
yeah. And I actually bought this originally as a camp instrument just to carry
Okay.
around with me. And my buddy Courtney and I, we go out hiking and camping once a year, just about. And first time when I bought this, I strapped it on my back because she got 40 pounds of other crap.
Right, right.
Then add this onto it, it was quite a bit actually. So I haven't taken it since, but I love playing around the campfire and just chilling and
Cool.
singing songs.
Where are you guys going next as far as with your music? Are we going to see another album? We've got the first one out, and this is your first album, correct?
Yeah.
Your first full album. Do you have other singles that are floating out there that people might be able to also? No, not yet.
Not quite.
Not
We're
quite.
working on writing stuff, chipping away at it. Yeah.
It was strange you had mentioned that because one thing I don't seem to ever have time for is to sit down and write songs, because it's always learning songs and playing songs, performing, and there's not that time. But unfortunately, since the government has shut everything down,
Yes.
and now I am home all the time getting unemployment. I'm not like one of those musicians that actually makes enough money to sustain himself in music. I've always had a 9-to-5 job. I've got too many bills to pay. And I've been sitting at home and strangely enough had found the time
To write.
to do that one thing that just can't seem to get around to doing. And so maybe the next album will go a little bit quicker than the last one.
Well, okay, speaking of that, how long did it take you guys to write, pick what you wanted, and then put it all together? A general, I mean, you don't have to be specific, but, you know, was it a year and a half?
Yeah, we probably were chipping away at it for a year before
About a
we
year?
actually decided to go into the studio.
Now, would you consider, this was one of those deals where you were, because Mark obviously had the 9-to-5, finding the time, was that a factor of getting you two together, and
Oh no, we carve time out every week.
you carve
Just
time
have
out
to
every...
make that commitment. You know, you got to
Yep.
realize, you know, what you really want to do and what the priorities are. And we may have taken a year to compile the songs to get them together, but a lot of that time, we just didn't want to spend a lot of time in the studio, so we practiced our asses
Yeah.
off.
Okay.
That's very
Practiced
true.
the songs so we could maybe get them with as few takes as possible and have as much of it spontaneous as possible and save money. Did I mention the money aspect?
Studio time can be quite expensive. Now, with your studio time, did you lay vocal tracks after doing the instruments, or did you guys do one full track with everything and then start layering to get the actual digital?
So
color?
we sat in separate rooms,
Mhm.
and there was a window between, so we could see each other. We had headphones on, we could hear. And this is over at Chuck Mock's studio in Perrysburg.
Okay.
Great guy, by the way. Good, really good musician as well. And we would look at each other, and because we practiced so damn hard and we knew the songs really well, you know, once we started together, you know, we would listen to the metronome and get it going, and then start together. We would be able to run through the whole thing, no problem.
Basically one take and...
Yeah, and we'd do it without the vocals. Otherwise, you'd have bleed over into
Right.
into the tracks.
Right.
So yeah, you do it without the vocals, and you come back and do the vocals later,
Yeah.
and then add the rest of the stuff on.
And the rest of the stuff on. With the vocals, you guys blend very well. I mean, you can tell that you've been working together and for a long time. And where do you guys decide who's going to be in what range? Now, I've noticed currently Mark's got a little bit of higher range, but when I've heard you play live before, you can hit some of those ranges, Adam. How do you guys decide what parts you're going to take? Being that you both have great vocal capability and you both have a range, so how do those things factor in? How do you?
Good question.
See, I told you I'm going to come up with.
I don't think there's any spoken thing. We just do
Usually,
it.
It depends on the song.
Yeah.
It really depends on the song, because sometimes it's easier for Adam to do the melody
Mhm.
and for me to do the harmony, because I think the harmonies come more naturally to me. And if Adam knows the melody, it's always easier, whether it be higher or lower than Adam's melody, for me to fit in the harmony. But Adam never has any problem. Whenever I sing a melody line, he always finds something to do. It always.
So it's more on when you guys say, "Hey, we'd like to do this song." You guys start playing around with it. Will each of you take kind of the melody line first and see where it goes, and then maybe say, "Nope, that's going to be. We need to do it the other
Well,
way."
if it's your song and you wrote it, then you get the melody lines.
Not always. No, you see, I'll disagree. I have to disagree. There are several songs that I've written with other bands that I didn't sing because our vocalist at the time had a better vocal than I did.
Oh, yeah,
And so
sure.
I'd say, here you go. And then there were songs that they wrote that they had me vocalize because at the time the vocals I had fit what they were looking for. So I have to disagree, Adam.
That's because you were more mature. You took the more adult way about it.
For the most part, I have been generally the oldest member in all the bands,
There you go.
except a couple. There have been a couple that I was the pad foot, the young guy coming in, but it was a lot of fun. With the originals, do you set shows up to play strictly an all original? Say like premiering this album. Are you going to, when we're able to get back out as a community and people can come out and physically say hello, how are you? Are you going to put it together like a show based on this album now that it's out there to the public, people can
We
hear
have
it?
done that before. When we first released the album, we had a CD release party, and
Those are fun.
You know, we played a couple of a couple of cover tunes first, just to warm up everybody, and then we played the full album straight through.
Straight through?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun doing that. But for the most part, we'll throw in two to three originals per set,
Okay.
something like that.
That's usually the way it happens. There are things where we try to stick mainly to originals, but they're few and far between. They're maybe more like a festival setting. We're looking at some of the Americana festivals, trying to apply to those, because then it would be just originals.
Right.
But as far as it goes now, the bar scene, you pretty much got to do covers.
Yeah.
For the most
People
part.
like, people like covers. They're-
Well,
they're
when you're
the ones that-
talking the bar scene itself, but what about like your coffee houses where you can do just your full acoustic act, small places like that? Would that be more apt to where you're going to do some of your own material because people are expecting whatever? You know, at least from my experience, you know, when I go into a coffee house, a place that's supposed to be laid back, they're not necessarily looking for things mainstream.
Right.
You know,
Right,
and is that where you're going to try to push that kind of feel
Yeah,
as
you're
far
right.
as
That is more of the thing.
I'm not just another ugly face. I actually have a little knowledge. and in doing the podcast, I've had to learn a lot more different things about that kind of stuff. Colleen says, we enjoy listening to Adam and Mark. They are so talented. So
Thanks.
as some of the messages are coming in, I'm trying to let you guys know. I know for a fact that I truly enjoy you guys playing. And I've seen you now together, and I think I know I've seen both of you as separate in other projects, I believe.
If you say so.
I get around. Not everybody sees me out there, but there's a lot of places I stop in that I don't tell anybody about. So now that we've got our Americana, is the next album maybe going to be something a little different? Are we going to change gears
who
a little
knows,
bit?
man?
Or are we going to do a mix? How's your... Well, you said you've written hundreds of songs in different genres.
Yeah.
So are we looking at maybe a full album that it's a mixture of everything? Or are you going to pick maybe a few of those that you've already written and do like you've done with this particular album?
There's songs that we had to scratch from the previous one, so yeah, I don't know that they fit what we are.
Okay.
So I mean, we'll probably go through the same process again when we finally sit down and figure out what we're going to do for the next one.
Okay.
But you know, we'll probably go. This one's good for what we do, and this one,
Right.
I'm not feeling it. You know, it's just not matching everything else that's on there.
So
We'll see.
What would you say, together as a duo, has been your most challenging piece of music? The most challenging one that you've had, that you've put together, that you play? Not one that you started and said, oh no, we can't do this.
Dragonfly was really hard to record.
Okay.
It's just we actually recorded it in two separate pieces, and yeah, that was a pain. And then we had to switch to piano, and we got a violin player on it, and yeah, that was pretty complicated as far as recording. So that's
what
why
about
we don't
playing?
play it out either. 'cause
Okay,
it's
so that's one of those.
Yeah,
it's
it's
a
really
little more
complicated.
intricate, and it's a little more difficult to get the feel of what you want for that song. Is that?
Well, it's a very simple song. It's 3 chords as far as that goes, except for the bridge. But
Now, the song that I think took a different turn than what it originally was
for
is
sure.
Just My Heaven.
yeah,
Because we were working on the lick. Adam was showing me the lick, and I was trying to fit in something I could do because it was a heavy metal feel to it.
it was kind of yeah.
And I was like, okay. You know, and then as the more we messed with it and we tried different things, I ended up picking up the banjo and going ding 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 ding. That's not the furthest thing from heavy metal, and it became a complete different feel of a song than what.
So the song developed as you were
Yes.
actually trying to
It
put the
became
pieces
something
together.
completely
It's funny how
different.
stuff comes together. Yeah.
Oh, it is, and like Mark said, the farthest thing that you would think from that particular pattern or riff worked out well on the banjo with a completely different feel. So and
That's
that's
usually
what's,
the way it works. Take any heavy metal song and play it on the banjo. Completely different song.
yes, yes. There's actually a few YouTube videos out there with a couple of my redneck hillbilly brethren that have done the AC/DC and the Metallicas all on acoustic guitar, banjo, and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I've seen those. Yes.
you know, and that's what I and with talking with you guys and getting to know you a little bit better in a different format, I'm finding from my perspective that it's an open plate. It's an open palette when you guys start to write and you start to form these songs, because you may be halfway through it and then one of you will play something or do something and say, oh, that's the way it's got to be, and then you change it, right, as you're developing with this music. At least I can see you guys doing that. If you're practicing, you know, you thought you had the song down and you do something goofy or whatever, or if you're just warming up. Has that actually happened with some of these other pieces?
Yeah,
where you're just kind of goofing off, warming up, getting ready to do a practice or put.
Sometimes Adam will have a verse and a chorus, and then like, well, that's all it is. What that could take a minute. You know, this isn't going to be a whole song like that. What are we going to do now? And I come to a block a couple times. It took the time to, well, we could take the key that it's in, cut the speed to half the time, and then make it to a minor key. Take it to a minor, and then go up to a higher minor for the solo, and then end up in the relative major and bring it back down to the song, and all of a sudden we've got a whole song.
So
you know, with a bridge and a different part, and then eventually it comes back to the original key, and then it's more than just 3 chords in the verse and the chorus. You know?
Do you guys?
Does that ever happen to you?
Excuse me.
So, you know, I am horrible with music theory.
I
like,
understood everything Mark said. That's the scary part. Our drummer is heavy into music theory in his timing and all of that, and we'll be practicing a song, and he'll say, "Mark, no, you got to do it this way."
Yeah.
He said, "This will fit, and then it won't clash with what the guitar is doing."
Yeah, that's usually what happens with us. They'll say, "Hey, play this, try this." And, oh yeah, that sounds great. Oh, all right.
Phil said that was a great banjo story, Mark, by the way, when you were talking about that song.
Thank you, Phil.
With everything you guys are doing, how do you plan on expanding? Are you going to just continue to use the social media? Are you going to try to
sure.
do...
Well, like Mark said earlier, we'd definitely love to play some festivals and things.
Okay.
It'd be great to get out there and show our original stuff around the world.
We're partway there. We're partway there. But once we get things going again with everything going on, where would be the first place you guys would absolutely love to say, we're back? I'm going to put you on the spot there, because there's a lot of phenomenal places to play in the city of Toledo. But where would you think that you would like to say, hey, we're back on the scene again?
Oh,
Sean's Irish Tavern.
Great place. Yeah.
He stopped having entertainment.
Yeah.
You know, like a year after we were playing there, and there's no more entertainment. It's like, you know, if we could play there. I understand he has a great crowd. Things are going well, but you know, it'd sure be nice to go back there sometime. You
Well,
know, the
maybe
over
one
there.
of us will have to send him a link to this, and you know, he can watch it then.
Yeah.
So, what would you guys like to? I've been asking all the questions, but this is one of those things that it's an open forum. We haven't had too many questions from our listeners. They're just absolutely enjoying what you guys are doing playing. What would you like to tell everybody that's watching this, and then we'll watch it later? Maybe a little history, maybe something that you'd like to do. Give us a little more insight on your mindset there.
I would say, folks, get in on this on the ground level. We are here. We're right now. And I'm telling you, you never know. We're going to be big sometime. And will come to town sometime. Maybe headliners. Probably an opener for a major act. We'll come to Huntington Center, and you'll be telling a story about, yeah, I used to work with that guy, and blah, blah, blah. Well, you must have seen him all the time. No, never came out and saw him at all. Yeah, now you gotta pay $100 a ticket to see him, pal. Get us while you can.
Get you while you can. What formats right now? I think it was CD Baby that you had sent me the link that I was able to get.
Yeah,
the
it's
music.
on all the major ones. So if you search Dragonfly Jumping Off, that's the album title.
Mm-hmm.
Dragonfly is our band name, obviously. It's on iTunes and Amazon Music and Pandora and all that, pretty much everywhere.
Okay. Well, with Pandora, that's not usually a paid subscription, so they're able to
Yeah, you
actually
can still-
listen to
you
it.
can- yeah,
listen
if
to
you,
it.
if
for,
you have an Alexa at home, you can say, Alexa, play Dragonfly Stumble 7, and it'll play it.
It'll play it.
Yeah.
That's cool. And then, of course, they can purchase the full album.
Yep.
And everything. And the T-shirts. Now, y'all can't really see it with my video or with my feed, but Adam and Mark were gracious enough to give me a T-shirt that I'm wearing right now. Can others buy these? Do we have a link that we can add to our description page for this video when it's all said and done that they can say, hey, I would like one of those?
We don't.
You
It would be best
don't.
to come out to the
the show.
We got them for sale.
Okay, well, we have a little glitch in that right now. Nobody's
Yes.
playing out. So, what if somebody watching this video tomorrow, say somebody shared it to them and they absolutely love it and they purchase the album, but now I'm talking about the T-shirt, which I may find a way a little bit later to make sure people see. Could they get a hold of you?
I'm sure Adam will take care of that.
Sure.
They can get, okay, so we'll either put an email link or something of that nature.
Yeah, I'll take care of something, sure.
And we'll add that. And again, I want to add that all in the descriptions. That way, when people, again, a week from now or whatever, they're watching this video with you guys, they can get a hold of you. Mm-hmm. And that would be absolutely phenomenal. I love what you guys are doing. Like I said, I love the album myself. It's going to play a lot. Especially when I'm working in the studio here. It's one of those, for me, that album relaxes me. There's the upbeat songs, there's the ones that are a little bit slower. And the whole time I had it on, I was doing my different setups here for you guys, and I felt comfortable. I felt relaxed. It's definitely, in my opinion, one of those albums you can sit on your couch, you can sit on your front porch, play it through a Bluetooth speaker or something like that, and just relax. And was that purposely done, or did
I think that just naturally happens when you're playing acoustic stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. I've heard some acoustic stuff that I'd rather shut off, but this wasn't one of them.
I think it was not intentionally meant to be.
No. Yeah. I think
we'll have to be more upbeat on the next.
Well,
one.
no, don't.
Well, some of them are upbeat, but
yeah.
I think it's just
it's the overall feel.
Yeah, it's the feel
that
and the blend of
really
everything, right?
is comforting to me as a musician. Not a great one like you guys, but as a musician, it's comforting. I hear these different undertones with the way things are being played, the mix, the vocals, everything just blends so well together. Now, speaking of that, the order of the songs on the album, was that something you guys sat down and said, okay, we need this one here, we have to put this one here? Was that actually a format that you guys used in putting this whole project together, once you had your songs picked?
Yeah, the order of an album is very important. It has to flow together. We changed stuff around several times, and like I said, we removed a song or two.
There's 12 tracks on this particular album, and like I said, all of them but one are all originals. And were these all written collectively, or some yours, Mark, some yours, Adam, or how did this album come together that way? Oh yeah, I'm gonna yes.
Some to some degrees greater than others.
Okay, well then I guess we'll just have to leave it at that at this point. I don't like to be pushy. Actually, that's not true. My live shows, I'm usually pushy. But I would actually like for you guys in the future, when you get more material together, come back.
Sure.
I'm hoping
Yeah.
that we can do that again.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready to play another one?
Sure.
Another track that you would like to give our folks and let them hear it.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Sunshine, or
Okay.
you want to play a cover or whatever you got one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
On white clouds we dance into our own rhythm, lost in our own little world forever. Stood alone inside a high, darker weather. And then I met you, ooh, and it all came together, and it all fell apart, all at the same time. And I knew it was only you forever. You light up my life, my sweet, bright, beautiful sunshine. So when it rains, I sing your name, and when it pours, I think of your smile and laugh. And when all the world is dark and black and bleak, the thought of you will part the clouds, shine light upon me. 'Cause when I met you, ooh, it all came together, and it all fell apart, all at the same time. And I knew it was only you forever. You light up my life, my sweet, bright, beautiful sunshine. So white clouds remains, I sing your name, and when it pours, think of your smile and laugh. And when all the world is dark and black and bleak, the thought of you will part the clouds, shine light upon me. 'Cause when I met you, ooh, it all came together, and it all fell apart, all at the same time. And I knew it was only you forever. 'Cause when I met you, ooh, it all came together, and it all fell apart, all at the same time. And I knew it was only you forever. You light up my life, my sweet, bright, beautiful sunshine. You light up my life, my sweet, bright, beautiful sunshine.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Sunshine. That's track number 8.
I don't know.
believe-
I'll take your word for
On
it.
the album. I believe that's track number 8. Guys, you have to buy it to confirm it. So, not that we're pushing that or anything like that. Yes, I am. Absolutely awesome. Phil says, very cool song.
Thanks,
He loved that one. And again, that's our friend from New Zealand who's tuning in today to watch this live feed. And I wouldn't doubt if he cranks it up again later.
Now, has the coronavirus made it to New Zealand?
Yeah.
I don't know. Phil, how impacted are you guys out there?
Yeah, they're shut down over there.
Yeah, I think. And he had asked just now if that was an original, and yes, it was, Phil. That was one of their originals on their album. And like I said, I believe it's track number 8. Hold on, let me find out. 1, 2, 3. Yes, track number 8.
There it is.
I can confirm it. I can just look over here and confirm it. We'll see. We'll get his response here because there might be a slight delay from what we're doing to what he's watching. Now I got my split screen up with the artwork, Dragonfly jumping off. You guys jumping off the boxcar. I can actually, now that you said, I can see the wheels and I'm looking at it a little more closely. So we're going to go into a couple of questions here. This is basically a 2-part question. Dragonfly, the name of your group, how that came about, and where was the jumping off for the album name? So however you want to answer that, you guys go ahead. And I would like to know. It's a really cool name, and jumping off as far as a title, it just stands out. It's awesome. I think it's very cool. So
cool. Well, Dragonfly is one of those things where when you're camping, when you're fishing, when you're chilling, when you're sitting around the campfire or whatever, what do you think of? You think of cool stuff. Dragonflies fly by your face all the damn time.
Dragonflies, fireflies, mosquitoes.
Yeah, I don't know. Just I like dragonflies.
Okay.
Popped up.
I thought it was the 2 sets of wings.
And there's that too. Sure.
That they have tandem sets of wings.
Double instruments.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're actually within the Dragonfly. There may be a little.
Well, if you look at the logo.
I'll have to.
Yeah, the logo's
on the back.
The logo's made of.
Oh, it's on the back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, is it? Yeah. It's made of. All that. Take the CD if you have it.
Oh yeah, actually it's right here.
Yeah.
And let's see if we can. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. This is the actual CD.
Yeah, the logo's actually
and
on the back
and
it's on the
there's
front. It's actually photoshopped into the boxcar too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, actually I did notice that when.
Yeah, it's like supposed to be graffiti or something. I don't know.
One of the things we really like is the variety. We like to change things up.
Oh,
we
yeah.
don't want to sit there and have. Usually, when we put together a list of songs that we're going to do or a set, there will be just a couple that we just both play guitar on or both do the same thing. We vary it up. The uke can double as a mandolin so many times. It has a different feel. It also sounds like a harp sometimes. And I throw in keyboards and we have harmonica and stuff, so that all of our stuff doesn't sound completely the same.
Right.
Right. And even if it's a song that's a popular song out there, we'll do it differently. Like we'll do something on guitar and uke that's usually done by a whole band. Not to mention any song specifically, but it gives a different feel to the song and makes it special and makes the melody stand out. And so we try to make the songs sound different than each other. So
which is cool. Then people don't get bored of what they're listening to. And I do have to apologize for all the noise that's in the background, ladies and gentlemen. As you know, this is in my home studio, and all the kids are home.
There's a band practicing up there.
And a mini band. Looking at the artwork and stuff like that, those are treble clefs for the wings.
Yes.
And is that a lute that you took the inspiration from for the main body?
Yeah, my buddy Corey actually came up with that design.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, I'm dissecting it a little bit. Not gonna lie.
Mark was the one that came up with the jumping off, though.
The jumping off. Yeah. So where does that originate?
That's our first album.
Yeah.
And we're jumping off into
with all our possessions
into the unknown.
Right.
Into the unknown. Well, that's cool. It is. We got a full background on that. And again, I thank you for the album, the physical album, and that. Probably, not going to lie, will never get opened. It will be put with my other collections. Since I do have the digital versions that I can crank throughout the house and stuff like that.
Yes, still on CD, baby.
Yeah, yes, and I really, really appreciate it, and the shirt and stuff like that. Is there anything else you guys would like to go over? Did you want to talk about, to let your fans know what you've got in the works? I know currently the shows are canceled, but... when we get up and running, hopefully you guys will send me the information. As Adam, I think, knows, I do a weekly show as well I haven't been doing it because of the outbreak, but every Wednesday I usually let everybody know where you guys are at, or try to when you send me the information. So it's my weekly update. It's done on Wednesdays, and then I try to do it again on Friday for that weekend. And then Sundays, of course, you're stuck with me live this way. Even though all my shows are recorded live. I don't pre-record. I did one. I take that back. When I first started building the room, I grabbed the tablet and I recorded something just for fun and threw it out there. I don't know if anybody got to see it.
That doesn't count.
That doesn't count. But all my other shows are done live. And so I know you're in anticipation, but what is your next technically scheduled show that you think you might be able to get to?
As far as both of us are concerned, I have no freaking clue.
No clue.
Everything's closed. But
are we starting again in May?
Yeah, who knows? You know.
But that's what I'm saying. Let's say they unlock the doors in May. Where's your next location that people can actually come out and see you?
I didn't look at the
You
calendar.
didn't look
I'm
at
just looking at that April, thinking, look at this. 6 great venues that we could have played.
Right.
Yep.
That haven't had us on the schedule. The Benfield Winery, the 6 Fifths Distillery was this, and there was Backyard Barbecue, and all these.
Yep.
Oh, we had a Sycamore Grove this month too. All these things were like, I really haven't stressed too much about May yet. And honestly, I'm sure we're scheduled probably the first. I'm not going to say.
Right.
You'll have to check our
hopefully,
check our schedule.
When you guys get the schedule, go ahead and send it to me.
Right.
That way I've got it, and we'll get a head start on it. Your question from earlier, it has hit New Zealand. They have unfortunately had one fatality, but they've been real quick to respond to this, and things are much under control. So thanks for the information, Phil. We do appreciate it. All of us care. We care about everybody that's going on. At least I do. Even my enemies, I don't want them to get this. I don't care how much I may dislike you. This is not something that I would wish upon you. So we've got some of that stuff covered. Anything you want to cover? Again, I keep asking you guys.
I appreciate you.
Me?
Keeping the music alive.
Yeah, you bet.
Well, thank you.
Really, we've
Thank
been
you.
trying to scratch together whatever we can do. Like last weekend, we did our own concert from our Facebook page.
Yep, I tuned in a little
But
bit
you've
of
been
that.
going
Yes.
in, and doing venues and putting people's music out there. If when it gets right down to it, all we want to do is play.
Right.
I know I joke a lot about money, blah blah blah. Really, it's because of the loss of but we just want to go out there and play. And if it wasn't for people like you.
Yeah, thank
Making
you.
that this little bit of a thing available to people who really can't do anything else. They're staying inside, and they can't go out to see music. I was thinking the other day how much money we're saving not going out to the bar.
Well.
But on the other hand, I'm getting a lot done around the house.
Right. As far as the saving money part, real quick thing about that. We have had a individual is donating a kegerator to my bar. So
Wow.
giving me the whole setup. So I got to pick that up next week. So I don't know about where the money saving is going to come in once I get the...
Well, kudos to you, though, Mark. Thanks for doing
actually, I do this because of you guys. It's my love of music. And again, being a musician, I'm not a great one. I'm not even a pocket player. I do my own little thing when I play bass and vocals. But it's because of you, Mark, and you, Adam, that are the great musicians that do keep me inspired to do what little bit I do. And then I found with Glass City Podcast, I can do something a little different. Something I might be a little better at. The behind the scenes, the doing the audio, doing video, and letting people know who you are. No one may know who Dragonfly is, or there's not going to be as many people. And now, hopefully, with you guys coming here, sitting with me, and we're sharing this worldwide, hopefully we can get you recognition that you deserve for all the hours, all the time, all the years that you've put in to your craft.
I must say there are a lot, lot of great musical talent in the area right here.
Tons.
And as much as I may think I know what I'm doing sometimes, there are a lot of players I watch and I thought, I'm not nearly in that classification of musician. I know what a real good musician is. It's a greater loss for them at this time.
Oh, yeah.
People like that are truly gifted and really are, like I say, they're as much as we like playing music and we play it simple. There are a lot of people that are suffering a lot greater loss than us, and a lot greater talents. You know, they would love to have a venue like this just to play.
Well, as far as doing like what you guys are doing here today, my venue is open. My studio is open. If you call me up in a couple of weeks and say, hey, can we arrange something to play again? Guess what I'm going to say? Let me check with the boss, my wife, and let's get it done. So again, it's open door as far as I'm concerned with the studio. It is smaller. It's not, a $100,000 establishment.
Perfect.
And I put it together with things I actually, believe it or not, had already purchased for other projects in the past and stuff like that. Other than the computer, which our guitar player is a computer freaking genius, built that PC for me to keep up with the live streaming for you guys and recording and all the audio. But again, thank you for the kind words, Mark. It was not necessary. It was not necessary. I do appreciate it. Again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Dragonfly and their new album. Well, actually, it's not new, but new.
Came out at the end of 2018.
Okay, so I'm way behind then.
Yeah, just the tail end of it, though.
The tail end. So it's just over a year old. But Dragonfly with their album Jumping Off, and I think we can convince them to do one more, right? We can do that.
Last track on the album.
And then after this, we're going to make sure when we post this video, we have the links for you guys to purchase. And I'm telling you, purchase the album for many different reasons. One, help these guys out a little bit in this time that we're having. This is part of their income. They may only make pennies on the dollar. Unfortunately, a lot of your recording labels take most of the credit, but help them out a little bit. It's well worth getting this album. It's something you're going to be able to listen to no matter who's around, no matter what type of music they like. They're going to find a track on this album.
I don't need that anymore.
We saw that. Anyhow, there's going to be a track for everybody in your family. There's a few even I think the kids will clap their hands to and get into, and anybody else. So here they are, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to go ahead and do you another song.
Now you're going to edit out all this, the mistakes and stuff, right?
Nope. Sorry, Mark. It don't work. It don't work that way.
Here's a song I wrote. I thought I would write a song about love without ever actually saying love.
Okay. Ready?
Count to 4.
2, 3, 4. It's more than years and it's more than distance, more conviction than any religion. Stronger than wind, stronger than fate, stronger than survivors at the end of all things. And ooh, it's always been around. The stars can tell you that ooh, it'll always be around, deep inside of you. It's more than fear and it's more than courage, far too simple to ever abridge. It's more than us and it's more than God. It goes on and on and on. And ooh, it's always been around. The stars can tell you that ooh, it'll always be around, deep inside of you. always been around. Stars can tell you that it'll always be around. Deep inside of you, it's always been around. Stars can tell you that it'll always be around. Deep inside of you, deep inside of you, deep inside of you. That one goes out to my buddy Jared Matthews, my very first drum player. And we used to work on that together back when I was a teenager. And we totally changed that song around for the album, but he loves the new arrangement. So
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's just a great tune. Very
that
great
was
tune.
his daddy-daughter dance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you made it personal, and he really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's
and
good.
that's cool. Again, gentlemen, thank you very much for stopping in for today. And hopefully this will get out there, and we can get you a new fan base, a different fan base, people that have not had an opportunity to come out to see you now can watch and then want to say, hey, I've got to see these guys live. Especially if your live show is interactive as what you've been here, it's a win, and it's a complete win. Not only are you getting great music, you're getting great entertainment in a personal feel.
Yeah, I love that you can talk to people on there. That's great. It is. Yeah.
So, any final words that you guys would like to talk about or go over before we go ahead and finish up this little impromptu?
I know we would love to play again live. While everything's shut down.
Okay.
We'll put something together here pretty soon here.
Okay. Either you guys do it at your location, or again, the door's open.
Yeah,
give me a
we'd
call,
love to
and
do it here,
and maybe we'll mic up things a little bit different, and maybe run some of the instruments directly through the board so I can get actual recordings on top of that.
Yeah.
That I can give back to you guys. And Phil just threw up all kinds of really fun emojis for you guys. So he's thoroughly enjoying the show.
Great.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Dragonfly, which is Adam SoRelle and Mark Ulinski. Is that even close? You never did answer, huh?
Ulinski. I'm Adam
Ulinski.
SoRelle. This is Mark Ulinski.
Don't listen to him, people. Besides, your guys' names are under your... So they know.
Everything's turned around on the camera, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, now they distracted me. This is what happens when you have a live podcast. And their album, Jumping Off, again, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to post the links. We're going to give you the different places you can get this. And I'm telling you, buy this album. It is fantastic for having all kinds of great feel moments. And so, gentlemen, again, I thank you very much. And we're going to go ahead and, if you want to say goodbye to the folks before we tune on out.
All right. Bye, everybody. Thanks for having us, Mark.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Thanks for your time. This is a
And
great honor.
ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Glass City Podcast with Dragonfly. And you guys have a great Sunday. You will not see us next Sunday. It is Easter Sunday, so I'm not going to do a show. But who knows, maybe I'll post some old shows and make a mismatch of a bunch of the different things that we had going on. Folks, have yourself a great day. We'll see you later. Thank you.